back to my live stream. Welcome back to my Monday Night Raw review. This is Jacob Cass 2024. Hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this video. If you guys enjoy my live stream, it will be like an hour and 10 minutes. We're gonna go to Monday Night Raw. We're gonna talk about AEW Destiny. So, so while we talk about Monday Night Raw and what happened on the show, um, we will talk about AEW. We'll talk about AEW Destiny 2020 review, worst pay-per-view in AEW history. We will go through that. Not all of it, but I will show some of it. The Young Bucks return. Tony Khan efficiently killed AEW, killed Dynamite. The entire show was ruined. We will go through that. I think I already showed that. Now these are the news and rumors here. Now the heat on Charlotte after SmackDown, the train wreck. Now my video is sponsored by Salamoto Sound Off, JD from New York, Omni Salcedo, Good My Work commentaries, and No DQ. Now that's what we got on AEW, definitely. So it's, now as you guys know, the big shock tonight was FTR. As you guys know, the FTR, they turned on Adam Copeland. They turned on Adam Copeland, hit a concerto. He sold the attack, and got thrust out of the building. So I guess that's a storyline over there. Alright. Now, there wasn't much to talk about Monday Night Raw. Now, I think this is all we got on the show. Now, the show opened up with this this segment with all three women, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. We all knew that Rhea Ripley was going to be added to the Women's World Title match, so it's official. We will get a triple threat match. It's just a shame that it took so long. Could have been like a month and a half. We only got like 2 weeks left. We have like 2 weeks left. We got this week and we got next week. So as you guys know, we will be seeing a triple threat match with all three of these women. It should be good. I thought the 7 was fine. Io Sky came out the strongest. I can't wait for this match. It's gonna be a great match for WrestleMania. Now the first match we had Lyra Valkyria defends her women's Intercontinental title. She defeated Bayley in title showdown. It was decent. It was very good. Surprisingly, she got the victory. Now, what's he doing in WrestleMania? I don't think she's gonna defend it. I don't think she needed to because she had no opponent. She beat Bayley clean, so she's not gonna defend it at WrestleMania. I don't know what she does. I don't really care. No one cares about the mid card title for the woman. We got El Grande Americano steals a victory over LWO. Obviously, we know Chad Gable. Chad Gable playing at the El Grande Americano. So, they did tease that they might take off the mask, but I guess not. So, he got the victory with the Crees. They beat LWO, and that was pretty much it. I'm pretty sure they're heels. I think that they're healed, yeah. We had a pretty good face-to-face with Gunther and Jey Uso. In intent, Jey Uso vowed to take Gunther's title for his family. A very decent 7 here. Gunther looking nice, wearing a suit. After last week, after what Gunther did to Jimmy, making him bleed, making him bathe in his own blood. Yeah, so can't wait for this man. Should be a good man. A great story here. We still got one more wildlife. We'll see what happens there. But here, yeah, so a very good segment. They recap what happened last week with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. There was no Cody Rhodes tonight. There was no John Cena. We still haven't seen a Rock. Now we will see Cody Rhodes this Friday. Maybe John Cena will make a shocking appearance. Maybe we'll see the Rock. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. He's with the Bill been kind of lackluster lately because they haven't been on TV that much. Now we got the New Day Force Chaotic, and in the War Raiders title match. I think the War Raiders got disqualified. The New Day won by disqualification. Kind of a silly way to end. It was able to protect the New Day. We might see this at WrestleMania. I think the New Day will win. It looks like that it's set it up. We got this segment here: Finn Balor, Dan Tall over Penta, Braun, and Dominic. Now, they have announced that we will see all 40 guys for the Intercontinental Championship in a fatal four-way. Balor, Penta, Braun, and Dominic all in a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. It's been official for one tonight. Kind of lazy. I don't think we need another multi-man match, but I get they want to get Dominic and Balor on the card. What are they doing? Now, since they already gave away the Penta Braun one-on-one match, that ended in a screwy finish, now we gotta get it for the four-way. Now, who can win this match? Balor's not winning it. I don't think Dominic needs it. I'd be okay with Braun, but Braun hadn't done much with it to say, yeah, like what's he gonna do with it? I actually think it's Penta's time. I think Penta should win it. And you gotta build up a new star, so hope Penta wins this. Okay, you gotta do something with Penta. Alright. Now, obviously the main event segment was CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. This segment was pretty good. It was decent. Will Roman Reigns crash Heyman? Well, Reigns wasn't there. He might be on SmackDown. I'm not sure, but Reigns wasn't there. It was only Punk and Rollins. I think it was Punk and Rollins and Paul Heyman. Seth Stomp Punk. Now, this is Monday Night Raw. The Paul Heyman McGregor hit decision. The aftermath of Heyman promo. Now, obviously, I actually want to talk about the AEW. Not sure they show highlights, do they? No, they don't. Now, that was the pre-show for AEW Destiny last night. It was like 90 minutes. Here's the media scrum. That was like an hour. This is what we got on Collision. Radio FTR Cat. We're gonna go 1-on-1 with versus Death Riders. Alright. Now this is AEW. It was actually a very underwhelming show. Show was lackluster. Most of the show felt like an average Dynamite or an average Collision. People pissed about the main event. The Young Bucks screws up. They screw Swerve. I think the best match was the Triple Threat match with Kenny Omega and I think it was Chris Jericho and I forgot who else, but the best thing was the Triple Threat match. The Young Bucks return and cost Swerve the title. It never ends. It was the worst pay-per-view. What is AEW thinking? Swerve says, fuck Booker T. Jon Moxley is still the AEW World Champion. A lot of people hate that. People were a lot pissed. Adam Cole wins the TNT Championship from Daniel Garza in a very good match. Heyman paid attack Jon Moxley. Swerve had a great entrance. Alright. Now let me just show you. We're gonna show it quick. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys the reaction from JD from New York. You can give him his thoughts and opinion about this show. Hold on. Hold on, I have to wait for this commercial.
Are my opinions. Whatever I say, I don't want to reflect on him, and I don't want to bounce off of him. He has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. We waited 5 hours on a Sunday night where people have to get up early for work, and they got things to do at the start of their.
Oh, my bad.
Jesse, his opinions are his opinions, my opinions are my opinions. Whatever I say, I don't want to reflect on him, and I don't want to bounce off of him. He has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. We waited 5 hours on a Sunday night where people have to get up early for work, and they got things to do at the start of their brand new work week. We waited 5 hours for one thing and one thing only to happen here. They had one priority. Your priority, Tony, was to take the belt off of Jon Moxley because the Death Riders are the death of AEW on a week-to-week basis. The AEW Championship, what you people claim is the greatest prize in this sport, hasn't been on television since fucking October. I don't know how you can go out there and make a statement such as that and then be serious about it. No world championship, no world champion as far as I'm concerned on television since October. You guys have one fucking job to do, and that was take the belt off of Jon Moxley, put it on Swerve Strickland, get that man into All In, have him walk in as the fucking crown jewel of this company, and defend that fucking title against Adam Hangman Page, which should have been the fucking championship match in London last year. But you, comically, wanted to put the belt on Bryan Danielson, and you wanted some fucking big celebration because you're a fucking mark, because you don't know any better. And then the title reign that Danielson had was one of the worst in company history, and it meant nothing because you took the belt off of him to put it on this fucking hack. And what happened? Everything that we saw at the end of that show was irrelevant in every sense of the word. We haven't seen one fucking person from the end of that show stand up to these fucking clouds since October. And this storyline has killed AEW television for 6 months now. You had us wait for 5 hours for the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, who are absolutely fucking cancer to the TV ratings. You bring them back. And the last time we saw the Young Bucks on television were them getting into an SUV, driving away from the Death Riders because they were afraid of what they were doing to the show. And now all of a sudden, they are back, and they're helping the Death Riders retain the title. 5 hours. You wasted 5 hours of my fucking life for that ending when you had one job to do to make your biggest show of the year, and it's main event feel like a fucking main event for the first time in 12 months. This company has lost the plot. Their owner is a fucking hack who couldn't book himself a fucking show. He couldn't book himself out of a wet plastic bag. This guy is absolutely killing the fucking company. He brought the Young Bucks back to kill the fucking company. And AEW Dynasty was one of the worst shows in the history. One of the most emotionless shows in the history of this fucking company for 5 years. Fuck AEW. If you are a sicko and you agree with anything that this show provided you tonight, you are the fucking very reason why this fucking company is in the shithole it's in. Fuck this company, fuck Tony Khan, and fuck AEW. Look, I'm upset, angry. Like you said, that's all. Why I said it. Yeah, he's right. He's not wrong about, it's just so demoralizing to sit and watch a pay-per-view all night long just to get to an ending that what this ending does, it justifies all of the thoughts that everyone had going into this, thinking these storylines are making sense. But then for the people like me, who at times say, let's let it play out and see what happens. Let's let it play out and see what happens. This one played out. Right? Storylines like this, you insult the intelligence of it. There's nothing worse. The
Hold on, there's commercials.
Sure, millions of people chose this business for safe love. Yep, but did you know? I don't care what they say. I don't care what Buck said. I don't care what Moxley says. I don't care what anybody says come Wednesday. This cannot make any kind of logical sense whatsoever. It cannot. I don't really. I don't give a shit. I don't. I mean, it's to a point. You know, on one hand, I'm glad that we talk about this in the way that we do because it just justifies how right we've been. On the other hand, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for everybody that supports this company. I feel sorry for the people that work there. I feel sorry for the talent that they hire that just sits around waiting for an opportunity. And this is the product that we are given on a week-to-week basis. Half of this fucking show felt like a rampage/collision tape. I don't know who looked at this fucking card and said, "Hey man, this is what I would charge for $50. This shit wasn't worth a fucking hot dog and a piece of bubblegum. What the fuck are we doing? That this show last year created all these great moments, and then this year's version is no better off than Collision. Half the fucking matches I was watching. Just what have we been saying for the last several weeks? One of their biggest problems, their biggest ingredient, is everything that they do feels so fucking predictable. How could I enjoy it to the fullest when I know that every outcome is gonna be what it is? Fucking fuck me a little. But then surprise me. Fucking have me on the edge of my seat. Does this company know anything about unpredictability? Do they know anything about fucking surprises? I mean, holy shit. Half this fucking show is a collision taping, and I could not be bothered to care about at least 3 hours of this show, man. What the fuck are they doing? Yeah, it was predictable. It was. I mean, it really did. It felt like the first 2 matches could have all been the pre-show. I mean, the pre-show was 90 minutes. Exactly. Look like this. Anthony Bowens, happens on a and you have them on the fucking pre-show with both of them going at it one-on-one. Who came up with that idea? Tag team wrestling that fucking dead? You want me to care about those 2 guys, and that's where you put them? That's only a small piece of the problem tonight. Yeah. And that's the shit. I was getting ready to say you can evaporate everything that we get with that 90 minutes of that show. Which, by the way, for some reason, Bowens versus Cassidy. He was banking on Darby Allin to come back from Mount Everest. That's what they're doing. It's either Ospreay or Darby Allin. There's no logical point. There's no logical sense that any of this makes, unless it's Darby or Will Ospreay. I don't get it. You're banking on a guy who may come back in a fucking body bag. Number one. Fucking ideology. What do we gotta do? And what do we have to say to get the fucking point across? I'm running out of curse words in my everyday vocabulary to get across the point. I don't know anymore. I don't know what to say. I got 4,000 fucking people in here. We got a half of the fucking post-show media's promoting in this chat right now. And you need to tell me that the guy who hates this fucking company, supposedly, more than anybody, I got all these people watching me and I'm wrong? I dare anybody to fucking stand face to face with me and tell me this. Of the fucking post-show media's promoting in this chat right now. And you need to tell me that the guy who hates this fucking company, supposedly, more than anybody, I got all these people watching. Champion. As if this is going to be some this changing of the fucking guard. As if this is going to be Sting beating Hollywood Hogan and ending the NWO at Starcade. That's what you think this is? You're not even a fucking pimple on the asshole of Sting and Hulk Hogan. Darby and Mox, give me a fucking break. Take nothing away from Darby Allin. Great, we love Darby. But him as the world champion? Him as the world champion! MJF, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Jay White, Will Ospreay. What are you fucking kidding me? Bro, I can't do it no more. I can't. I'm not dead. Yes, in the chat. It's Monday early morning at 1:12. I'll get to Billy's in a second. And Jesse, let's traditionally now start the stream off the way that did a fantastic job. I don't know what happened with Kitty at the end. I hope he's okay. He looked like he was a little GA. My chat was saying probably the best bell match on the card for me, at least. Looking at it on paper, I don't see how it could just be bad, and it wasn't. It just went a little bit long for me. Other than that, I think that was my favorite match. My favorite match tonight was the triple threat match. I thought what they did was incredible. It did go a little too long. This whole fucking show went too long. We didn't get off the air until 12:30. I mean, 5 of the 10 matches on this shit should have been on Collision. This match should have been this card should have been 6-7 match pay-per-view tops. I don't know how many times I gotta fucking repeat myself, and Jesse has to repeat themselves, or himself, or ourselves, that this show, these pay-per-views are too long. I don't understand why they think that 10 matches plus a 90-minute pre-show is necessary in 2025. This show should have been off the air at 10:30. Yet we got all this shit. I mean, look at the matches that we got tonight. We got the first 3 matches, Julia Hart versus Mercedes Moné. On what planet? And we love Julia. And Mercedes is probably one of the best female wrestlers of all time. This is not a pay-per-view match. Just based on body of work compared to both ladies in general. In that aspect, it's not a pay-per-view match. Then we got Kyle Hogan versus Mark Briscoe. This is a Collision Saturday Night Collision match. What is it doing on a pay-per-view for absolutely no fucking reason? And then we got the Hurt Syndicate against Big Bill and the Bad Apple. Well, what are we doing here, bro? This match is just another stretch. No positive, but no. For the buy-in. Show on Wednesday. Oh my God. This is now third one that they're in. Man, I can't wait for that shit show on Wednesday. One of the worst, this is probably going to end up being the worst pay-per-views they've ever done. Probably, just by the ending. Certainly going to be one of the worst pay-per-views of the year. I feel comfortable to say that because on the record, both of us are on the record right here on the channel saying AEW are notorious for doing great. But with this card, how can you make us invested? How can you? We still understand how nobody there can speak up and make sense of anything there to hopefully usher in some change. Every match that I've seen tonight, bro, on. Jesse's the one that needs to fucking love him. Holy shit, man. Your ass needs to fucking get LA Knight in the ring fucking 10 times in a night at that point. Holy shit. My God, man. I don't know. Yeah. Check it out. At Planet Fitness, you can get free unlimited fitness training. Save you join for just $1 now. Dog shit. Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. And Tuesday Night Titans begins your week right here on Off the Scripts.
Hold on. Wait. What's talking about that?
Away from John Moxley and on somebody else. That person being Swerve Strickland. Because Swerve beat Ricochet, he earned the right to become #1 contender for this title. Surely there's no way that they are going to drag this out until July, until they get to Texas, until they get to Albany. There's no way. There's no way. I cannot think of another storyline in the history of in the 5 years that AEW has been in existence that has just sucked the life out of me in the way that this one has. And this is the top storyline. John Moxley is the AEW World Champion. Right? We have not seen the title since October when he wanted it wrestling. It's been locked away in a briefcase, supposedly. We haven't even seen the belt. And the Death Riders come out week after week after week after week. And it's really the worst television that AEW puts out. It actively drags down the rest of the show. A few weeks ago, it was John Moxley wrestling Adam Copeland in a rematch with a fucking board with nails sticking out of his back. Why? Because, I don't fucking know why. It's John Moxley. Why does he do the shit that he does? We had a revolution last month, which is a shame because on so many of these pay-per-views, they put out a lot of great wrestling matches. Right? There was some tonight on this show. We may have had the greatest triple threat match tonight in the history of AEW. And yet again, for the second straight month, it is going to be completely overshadowed by a dog shit ending to their pay-per-view. There was a time when AEW, if nothing else, you could rely on them for great pay-per-views, top to bottom, beginning to end. That was something that they had over the competition. They've been very consistent with this throughout their existence. No more. No more. And you know what actually pissed me off the most? I can't even sit here and tell you that it was even just the ending itself that really pissed me off the most. What pissed me off the most is that I'm sitting here and I'm watching this. And I'm thinking to myself, this match is starting and it is 10 minutes before the stroke of midnight here on the East Coast. They were in Philadelphia for the show tonight. So they were on the East Coast. I'm in the East Coast. It is midnight. And you are forcing me here because I've already made it this far. You are forcing me here to sit here and watch John Moxley defend the AEW World Championship in the main event, and it is 12 o'clock in the morning. The only way that you could salvage this, the only way that you can say that this is worth my time, is at the end of all of this, Swerve Strickland is standing with the AEW World Championship held high above his head. And we can finally end this long nightmare that we have all been in since October of 2024. That is the only acceptable ending to this pay-per-view. When you are going until almost 12:30 in the morning, and they give us the ending that they gave us tonight. night on a Sunday night. You know how many people were probably in the building tonight, let alone watching this at home, who have to wake up for work in the morning? I'm not even talking about myself. I'm talking about all the other people out there who have to wake up in the morning to go to work. And the fucking show is still going on, and it's 12:10, 12:15, 12:20. And that is the ending that you give people? Tony Khan doesn't give a shit. That's what came across to me at the end of this show tonight. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He books what he wants to book. He allows Jon Moxley to do whatever the fuck it is that he wants to do. He thinks that the story that he has is legitimately great.
Not you.
That is, I mean, that's what he believes. He believed it with the Elite. He believes it with the Death Riders. He thinks this is good. He thinks this is good television. He thinks Jon Moxley and the Death Riders is great. He thinks that this is going to generate new fans for AEW. This is somehow going to bring new viewers to the television set. This is the worst shit that this company has ever produced. And I don't even know how this is possible on a show where you have a match like Kenny Omega and Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. When you have people like Timeless Tony Storm and Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page. How is it possible that on the same show you can have something like this? I mean, it doesn't even make sense to me. It's like two totally different companies fused together. They went off the air at almost 12:30 in the morning with the Young Bucks making their AEW return, interfering in the main event, and costing Swerve Strickland the AEW World Championship. Yet again, Jon Moxley steals another win. Maybe this time it wasn't because of the Death Riders, but he steals another win. And for what? So they can drag this out until All In. So that now we can get the Young Bucks and the Death Riders against Swerve and Hangman and the Ops. An Anarchy in the Arena, probably. Double or Nothing, right? I can see it now. They're going to milk this for all it's worth. They're going to milk this like Bessie the fucking cow until we get to Texas. And then maybe, I can't even see it for sure. Maybe at that point, the winner of the Owen, whoever that is, will go on to finally win the AEW World Championship. And you know what the saddest part is about the entire thing? I don't even care. I don't even care. I really don't. I mean, I get upset about this stuff because I sit here and I look and I say, how is the time management on these shows so fucking awful that Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia go out there and they wrestle to crickets? Why is it that these shows are stretched so long and you feel so compelled to see? It's like trying to shove 10 pounds of shit into a 5-pound bag. It feels like he has to just overflow these shows with matches. And then you get to the point where the crowd fatigue sets in, right? You bring them down, maybe you bring them back up. And you bring them back up for what we've done in the main event tonight. You should be ashamed of yourself. This company will never learn. They will never learn. It's embarrassing. To have back-to-back pay-per-view endings like this is a fucking embarrassment. There really is no other way to put it. So yes, Jon Moxley is still your AEW World Champion. Jon Moxley will be going on to All In as the champion because at this point we're so deep into this shit. There's no fucking way he's losing the title before then. So now we have to deal with this for a number of months longer as the Death Rider story drags out. Now we have to wait and see, why did the Young Bucks do what they did? The Young Bucks haven't been seen in months. Why are the Young Bucks here? We'll have to tune into the show to find out. I wish I could bring myself to actually give two shits, but I can't. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Tony Khan and this company have completely lost the plot. Absolutely, completely just gone. Goodbye. They haven't learned by now. They'll just never learn. You just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. If he's continuing, that's fine. I do think it's offensive to your fans, though, honestly, to have a show that goes this late and give them a finish like that. That is such a slap in the face to the audience that it's almost inconceivable to me that this is the same company that has branded itself as being fan-friendly. Tony Khan, the ultimate fan himself, that I have to believe he does this intentionally because he wants there
to be this kind of reaction. He wants people to talk about his company no matter what. All publicity is good publicity. It gets people talking, it gets people emotional about it, right? His mind, it's a good thing. I genuinely, honestly, I genuinely don't see how this can be viewed in any way, shape, or form as any kind of positive stuff. I genuinely don't. They see this as a long-term story. By the time Jon Moxley maybe drops that championship in Texas, this story will have been dragged out for 9 months. Can you imagine 9 months of this shit? 9 months. It's atrocious. And it's going to cast a shadow over everything else now, because this is what the discourse is going to be for the rest of the week. All about that main event, just like it was in Revolution. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They just don't learn. And like I said, we had maybe the best triple threat match in the history of AEW tonight, with Kenny Omega defending his international title. We have 3 Owen Hart tournament matches. We had a heel turn, not only by Tony Khan, but by FTR. Predictable as it may have been. We had the heel turn, they turned heel on Adam Copeland. Took him out of action. We probably won't see him for a while. Fine. I really don't know what else to say. I'm not even in the mood to talk about everything else that happened on the show. I don't even want to talk about some of this stuff. 1 o'clock in the morning and I have to talk about this? It's a waste of my time. Your Dynasty 2025 review. There's one thing I hate. If there's one thing I hate, it's investing my time in a wrestling show, especially a 4.5-hour fucking show, to get that kind of payoff at the end. I cannot get over that. I really can't. And I will say again, the time management on these shows is fucking terrible. And he has to do something about it. It is awful. It is awful. It is as bad as I've ever seen it in any wrestling company ever. Seriously. I know he doesn't see it as a problem because, it's great wrestling matches, right? Nobody does pay-per-view like AEW. True. That's not always a good thing. This is your Dynasty. 2000. Best wrestler in the world. Reaction here in Philadelphia. Out comes Anthony Bowens.
All right, hold on.
Speak to us before. That's what this.
That was 40 minutes. Now we're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw. I have to skip some of this for a minute. I'm gonna show you some of their pay-per-view on Monday Night Raw tonight. Might be throwing a lot here.
Me. And along the way, you get to make friends with people. You kind of discover that there are other like-minded people out there who are from the same place, share your same affinity for the Mets, or other, whatever hobbies or whatever it may be. And you make friends with people. And some of these people you get to meet in person, and some of these people you just interact with online. And Don Tony and Kevin Castle are 2 of those people. I kind of look at them as the OGs. They've been around for a very long time, doing shows together, doing shows apart, and going back to the Minority Report days and the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show. Many of the people who are here on this channel now probably discovered me, and maybe even them, through TV tracks, many years ago. because all of our content was sort of pulled together on there and shared together. And then along the way you sort of find out that something very shitty has happened, and it hits you like a punch to the gut. And so that was the news that I got a few hours ago when I found out that Kevin Castle had passed away earlier today. I spoke to his brother John. He was the one who kind of filled me in on what happened. And I think it really does speak to the kind of person that they are. So we kind of have that in one of my great regrets. The thing about Kev, guys, Mish, Joey, so then my heart goes out to everybody who knew him, everybody who was friendly with him, and one of a kind. And may he rest in peace. He will certainly not be forgotten, but there is definitely going to be a hole in this community that cannot be filled. Found out that I talked to his brother, it was this Paul Heyman. And this is stemming from the segment that we had last week where we found out what the favor was that CM Punk was owed by Paul Heyman. Finally found out what it was. Paul Heyman is going to walk CM Punk to the ring, be his wise man, and be in his corner for his very first WrestleMania main event. And there was no Roman Reigns on the show tonight, but we did get Paul Heyman, we did get Seth Rollins, we did get CM Punk. It was very telling at the very end when Punk and Rollins were brawling, just how quiet the crowd was. Because you would think they would be really up for that, the WrestleMania main events, and they really weren't. But the big twist at the end was Rollins had the chance to give Heyman a stomp after he stomped Punk, and he stomped short, I guess you might say. And then he leaned down at Heyman and told him, "Now you owe me a favor." And that's how it went off the air. And I was already kind of figuring that Rollins was the favorite going into this pay-per-view, or PLE, whatever you want to call it, just because, just by virtue of the other two sort of canceling each other out, Rollins may end up being the beneficiary of that. And I feel even more strongly about that now, where Rollins tells him, now you owe me a favor, and that may well be what the favor is. Again, less so a matter of Heyman helping Rollins as much as stuff goes down during that triple threat match where Heyman refuses to help either Roman Reigns or CM Punk, because he's pulled in both directions, and so Rollins ends up being the beneficiary of that. I feel even more strongly about that now than I did before. We had a World Tag Team title match on this show that was DEAD dead. We had a Women's Intercontinental title match that was actually very good. Easily the best match on the show. We had a segment with Gunther and Jey Uso in the follow-up to Gunther murdering Jimmy Uso on the show last week. And I enjoyed this segment as well. I did not enjoy the crowd, and I'll tell you why that is. No Cody Rhodes, no John Cena. We knew John Cena wasn't scheduled to be there, but no Cody Rhodes on the show tonight. We got a music video, basically. So neither participant in the Night 2 WrestleMania main event was actually on the show tonight. If I had to sum this up in one way, it was a show that happened. That was Raw tonight. This is your Raw on Netflix review. It is Monday, April 7th, 2025. I am Solid Monster. Thank you for being with me today. Very tired after the late night last night. So I appreciate you hanging out with me here tonight. Like and subscribe. Super chats are open. As you guys know, I will be hanging out with you and reading those messages a little bit later on in the stream. So looking forward to that. Let's take it from the top here. And they opened the show tonight with Adam Pearce, the Raw General Manager. He was in the ring to introduce the Women's World Champion, Io Sky. The title was on a podium in the ring. But he introduced Io Sky to the ring. That was followed by Bianca Belair, and then followed by Rhea Ripley. And Adam Pearce had a little faux pas here. Because when he introduced Rhea Ripley to the ring, I want to make sure I get this quote right. He said, "Representing the Judgment Day." And I sat here and I thought to myself, boy, did I miss an important segment on last week's show? Was there something I missed out on Monday night last week that I'm not aware of? And then Michael Cole quickly on commentary, you know, corrected him and said that in fact Rhea Ripley has not been a part of the Judgment Day now for a very long time. So Pierce began by taking responsibility for what happened last week. He says, it's my fault. You know, Bianca, I put you in that position, referee in that match. I'll take responsibility for everything. And then he said, I was wrong to think that any of you could actually handle things like professionals. And he then announced that to right the wrong, he's going to make the WWE Women's World Championship match at WrestleMania a triple threat match. Io Sky will defend her title against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Color me shocked. This is the outcome we knew was coming. There was an off chance that maybe they would be a little creative with it. Do Bianca and Io on night one. The winner defends against Rhea on night two. They opted not to do that. So we are getting the triple threat match. He presented a contract for everybody to sign. And Bianca had something to say. And she was not upset. She was not upset that Adam Pearce has now added another challenger to this match. Quite the contrary. She said normally she would be mad that Rhea just walked in, did whatever she wanted, and now she's been added to the match. These days, though, she's not mad because she's not scared of her. She said that she will walk out of WrestleMania as the new women's champion and will go through Rhea to get it. And she actually wants her in the match. She says, I want you in the match. Right? The anger among all of these women is so high. The tension is so high. They actually want to beat the crap out of each other. So they signed the contract. And Rhea started talking, and Bianca told her to shut up. The crowd started booing Bianca. Bianca pushed the contract into Ripley's chest, told her to sign it. Ripley threw the contract back at Bianca. Io tried to intervene here, and she got pushed away. Again, like the third wheel, she got pushed away. This was as predictable can be. We all knew that this is where things were going to end up. That's where we are now. We have a triple threat at WrestleMania. I don't know if it's going to be night one or night two. But as far as setting up the match, pretty paint by number stuff here. Really not much else to say about this. This is a very basic segment. Very basic opening here to this show. Now, speaking of Adam Pearce making matches, earlier today he made the announcement on social media. And this, again, very predictable. We could see where this was going. But now it is official. At WrestleMania, Braun Breaker is going to defend the Intercontinental title in a fatal four-way match. And he is going to be defending that championship against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. So that was made official earlier today. Now we go to the Judgment Day Clubhouse in the back. And Balor was pleased about getting the title match. And he was talking to Dominic and Morgan, Raquel, Carlito. They were all there. Balor said he didn't know Dom also wanted a shot at the title. And he said, hey, the more the merrier. So Liv Morgan stepped up and said, that's what I thought when I got Adam Pearce to add him to that match. Balor didn't look very pleased, but he claimed it was cool. He claimed he didn't mind. Balor said people say Dom doesn't have what it takes to win at WrestleMania because he's not tough enough. They say that he lacks killer instinct. They say he's a loser. So Balor said Dom gets to prove them all wrong when he faces Penta all by himself later tonight. And Balor told Dom he believes in him, he wished him well. After Balor left, Dom questioned what he was going to do. Carlito said he would have Dom's back. And he also said, the Mall of America is the biggest mall in the United States. And he was there earlier in the day. They were in Minneapolis. So he went to the Mall of America, the site of the very first Monday night. Again, very basic setup here to this match. They've been kind of building tension between all of these men over the last several weeks. And so Adam Pearce just went and made it official. So not much else to say. We're going to see a lot of that Judgment Day drama play out during that match. I wouldn't rule out a Dominic win at WrestleMania. I wouldn't say that, automatically it's going to be Penta. He's going to walk out or Braun's going to retain. Balor's not going to win. I would be shocked if Balor walked out with that belt. But I would not rule out Balor. In Lyra Valkyria, speaking of Intercontinental titles, Lyra Valkyria defending her women's Intercontinental Championship against Bayley. This was a rematch, if you remember, back in February. It was an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Bayley pinned her. As I recall, I think that was Lyra's first match, her first singles match, since winning Intercontinental title, which was like a month before, and she got pinned in that match. So this is a rematch for that. Lyra has said that it has been gnawing at her ever since, and she wanted to prove that she can beat Bayley, and so here we are. So the two of them were, and Lyra cut her off, dragged her back, being all the messages here. Kathy Kelly was in the back. The challenge for the tag team titles, if not Bayley and Lyra. All right, they've got to be the favorite. But the match itself was actually very good. Started a little slow and built, crowd got into it. I thought that this was the best women's intercontinental title match that we have had so far since Lyra won the championship. Showed up, ripped his shirt off, and then Burst ripped his shirt off, and they posed, and who gives a shit? Elsewhere, Jackie Redmond is back. And Jackie Redmond interviewed AJ Styles, mentioned how Logan Paul did a lot of things last week. Yeah. But she doesn't do anything. She never has a chance to act. Made a six-man tag with Dragon Lee, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro of the LWO with Rey Mysterio in their corner. They were taking on the Creed brothers and El Grande Americano, who entered to his mariachi American music. Got a big pop here in Chad Gable's hometown. We got a lot of lucha libre action. Bring it. The camera got this great kind of like son that does it. It'll either be his son or another luchador who they sort of anoint as like the next top luchador in the company. So it took forever. Finally, he gets in the ring, and before he
Alright, let's see JD from New York. I'm gonna show you guys his review. Let's see what he has to say about Monday Night Raw. Yeah, he just done.
For a very long time. Hated selling watches. Fucking hate it.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on a second.
You know, been sitting in kind of shock the last 5 hours or so. And I'm going to do my very best not to actually cry. I hate crying in front of people. I've done enough crying for the last 6 months to kind of not want to do it again for a very long time. Camera. And we get to know each other in the community. I started doing this thing about 2015. Started a YouTube channel in 2015. Because I made coffee at Starbucks and I sold watches on Madison Avenue, New York City. To this day, I hate wearing suits and ties. Hated going to work every day. The boss told me I had to shave every other day. I'm like, asshole. What do you want me to do? I'm not shaving every morning to come to work to sell watches. You deal with the stubble or you get rid of it. Eventually backed off. It's happened for 3 years. take the dog, family dog, to the vet. I think it's dying. It's when I really started going hard on YouTube. I really put a lot of my time into YouTube. Gave up a lot. Nights drinking, nights going out with the guys, just look. I wish I could take that all back. The first video I've ever done on the channel, it may still be up now. It's nothing more than a picture of Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan from the 1993 King of the Ring, and me getting my feet wet into content creation, going on YouTube. Still picture of Yoko and Hulk Hogan from the 93 King of the Ring, WWF title match that year. Talking about how important that show was to me and from some of the finest pro wrestling podcasters that New York City had to offer. The one that I immediately gravitated towards, I'm now fortunate enough to call him a friend and work with him on Tuesday nights. You guys know him as the Solid Monster. I know him as Jason. I work with him on Tuesday nights. I listen to him every single day until I got what I needed from him on how to do this thing. I still listen to him every week now. He's one of my favorite people to go out there and listen to. From Jason, I found Don Tony and Kevin Castle. Through Don Tony and Kevin Castle, I became very familiar with Kev's brother, John Draper. Through Draper, I found the Wrestling Soup guys. This conglomeration of great people is the Don Tony Kevin Castle family circle. And throughout the years that I did this, and my move out of the Bronx, I went through a very terrible breakup. Where I looked in the mirror and I didn't even recognize who I was anymore. It was at that point in my life where I sat alone in my basement apartment with the windows closed. I was with a great person for 8 years. Who drew me back in. They didn't tell people at that time. There were maybe 2 other people in that time that I really expressed my feelings to. He was one of them. Dr. Evil Genius was another one. Kev was a beacon of light in one of the... All these guys backed me up. This little one in the Bronx who's is shot, and they all welcomed me into their community. And I'm very grateful that I'm still a part of that family and a part of that community today. He was right there. Don Tony was there. The Soup guys were there. Draper was there. They all backed me up. And always went to bat for me. We used to talk about our love for heavy metal. Kev was big in the music scene here in New York City. A music scene that I was a part of for 10 years. And I always regretted. We shared our love for baseball. I always joked about baseball. I fostered a beautiful family kid. After Bacardi passed away, I fostered a beautiful family kid. First person I reached out to was Kevin. Because I knew how important it was. my first journey into doing something like that. I wanted to make him proud because I knew how important it was to him. Kev always reached out to me when it came to body language and facial. This is what happens. You get put in a box. You get raised on a crane and put in. Not know he had health problems. I did not know he had neglected any help. I just kind of brushed it off and said, oh, don't worry about it. I'm fine. And I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, shit, man, that's the same way that I did. From me.
Seth Rollins demands a favor from Paul Heyman.
Oh, wait. What? All the kitties that Kevin took care of and found homes for.
At the same time, you can't help Roman Reigns. And the same match helps CM Punk, or if he does, right, it's going to blow up in his face. And Seth Rollins will be there to take advantage. He'll be there to pick the bones. He'll be there to capitalize on the opportunity.
Alright, hold on. Alright, hold on.
I'm Christy Nome, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President.
Please cherish life. We're all going through some shit. Whoever you need to tell them that you love.
Triple threat match is now confirmed. Rey Mysterio is going to wrestle Grande Americano. And we're still waiting to find out when that next New Day match is going to be with the War Raiders. Outside of that, there isn't much else to talk about. It's a pretty nothing show. I said at the top, it was a show that happened. That was wrong. Let's take a look at the Twitter poll here. 70% thumbs up score for tonight's Raw episode from Minneapolis. 20.5% thumbs in the middle.
What?
Well, to see underneath, I'll say that and see.
Thinking the exact thing. Can you imagine? Like legitimate. And I thought, that's interesting. And then a couple of hours.
Had in the last couple weeks of John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I dislike the bang, bang, bang nature of the start of the show and saving kind of like the more long-winded main event conversational points.
They didn't, right, Fonzie?
I didn't see it.
They did. I was on the TV.com this morning when I was creating the stream, and I was getting ready for the podcast. And they just had anything about 7 p.m. Oh my God, that's interesting. And then a couple of hours had the page up on WWE.com, and they were finally promoting that they were actually officially found out the favor was that CM Punk won Paul Heyman in his corner, and poor Paul Heyman, just his heart was breaking, had to break the bad news over to Roman Reigns. And so here's the time to get Paul Heyman goes out there, and he's talking about how he's gonna be loyal no matter what to Roman Reigns and to CM Punk, and just because he's loyal to these guys doesn't mean he's gonna be disloyal to them, right? Obviously, you can't do that. Call BS on that right away. Whatever. Seth Rollins goes out there. Seth Rollins cuts a pretty long promo. The gist of it was him trying to prove that both CM Punk and Roman Reigns do not give a damn about Paul Heyman. That's what he's trying to tell the entire time. This finally led to Seth Rollins trying to hit and berate Paul Heyman until CM Punk finally, after a long time, ran out there to out Paul Heyman, but Seth Rollins ends up getting hit with a stomp and takes out CM Punk, and then he was going to hit Paul Heyman with the stomp, then doesn't, and then says, now you owe me a favor, and that is how he goes out Monday Night Raw.
Somebody needs to tell like these people like this is not how favors work. I can't like imagine like, I didn't stab you in the neck, so now you owe me a favor. But that's just not how that works. I'm sorry, that's just not the societal norms of things. But I get are technically plot holes. Like why would Roman come back to help Paul Heyman when he was being terrorized by Solo Sikoa and by Jacob Fatu and got killed in Madison Square Garden? Like why wouldn't Roman ever come back? And I thought that they were just gonna like put it under the rug and it was just a technicality. We're just gonna pretend like that never happened. And I'm glad that they brought it up. I'm glad that they brought up why didn't CM Punk come in to help. I'm glad they brought up all of these things that if you're a wrestling fan that wants to appreciate and believe in long-term storytelling, those things would have always been plot holes in the current story that we've got going on. But now that they got brought up, now they're being used to gaslight individually Heyman into, I guess, recognizing that his relationship with Roman Reigns and CM Punk are strong as he actually believes. In fact, I've seen people in my chat saying that they see Seth Rollins walking away with the wise. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I don't think that that's a good combo or a good fit. But it's getting people talking about where Paul and Heyman's allegiances are lying. I feel like this feud really needed this ultimately because a lot of people were kind of bummed that this didn't have any stakes or that this wasn't going to be, winner goes to main event of WrestleMania or anything like that. But it does feel like there are like human stakes involved with like the personal relationships and what goes on with those personal relationships after WrestleMania once the dust settles. I thought this was really good stuff.
So there's a lot. So okay, there's so much to get into. So first of all, I'm so glad that you mentioned the part about when Seth Rollins bringing up some of those polls, right? And storyline of hey, Roman didn't come back. Do you remember when Paul Heyman told CM Punk, "Take me with you" a long time ago? That's another thing that they could bring back and kind of prove Seth Rollins' point. I thought that they kind of needed this in the sense all of this kind of felt like this was them saying, hey, we hear you loud and clear that there's a big feeling in the room that Seth Rollins is the third wheel, that this doesn't really need Seth Rollins. Given what we saw in SmackDown with the people literally not giving a damn, and granted, of course, it was in Chicago and they don't care about CM Punk, but quite frankly, they did not give a damn about that Seth Rollins Roman Reigns promo from Friday night. And to me, that was pretty telling that, okay, Seth Rollins really is the third wheel on this story, right? And so today, with him kind of getting in there and trying to get into the mind of Paul Heyman, to me, that was them telling us, hey, you know what? Seth Rollins does kind of matter in this storyline, and now he's using some mind games to try to get into Paul Heyman's head. But here's the other thing that I'm so freaking happy that you mentioned the thing about Heyman, because I had the exact same like reference point where you don't do that. Like I don't mean you owe him a favor. To me, this isn't justified. To me, there is no justifying Paul Heyman owing Seth Rollins a favor. And I get it. It's that's just them trying to get a back winning on him. But to me, it just if Paul Heyman does go out and align himself with Seth Rollins as a quote unquote favor, I don't on that.
No, that'd be lame.
That would be super lame. walk out with that problem. So, Fonz, that's my question to you. I know you said you don't think it's going to happen, but let's say it did. How would you feel about it?
I mean, it all, I mean, like, it would be crazy. Like, I'm sure, like, I want to right now be like, oh, that's so fun. I bet that, like, when it's happening in the moment, I'll probably mark it out and lose my mind. But, like, just on paper at face value, it doesn't feel like that makes any sense whatsoever. So I'm not going to say that it would be for me. But again, I know my lizard brain of a wrestling fan will probably love it in the moment.
It's kind of like when John Cena turned heel. I remember people were pitching that, and I was like, nah, John Cena's not going to turn heel. Nah, I'm not interested. I'm going to do his greatest hits, blah, blah, blah. And then he absolutely does turn heel, and I'm like,
It was some of the place on it.
yeah, son of a bitch, I'm sold. Exactly that. So, here's the thing, though. Like, we sold on that. Would be kind of I feel like the story, and I know everyone's gonna hate me for this, but to me, my interest, I'm speaking specifically for me, for me specifically, I care specifically about Roman and CM Punk. This is the story that I want to see continue furthered along. This is the story that I'm hoping leads to a one-on-one matchup with Roman and CM Punk. So if Paul Heyman ends up with Seth Rollins, I kind of feel like that is keeping the story very, very crowded, and I want the spotlight to be specifically on these two guys.
Yeah, I will agree that the feud, once the dust settles from WrestleMania and we're moving on from the triple threat match, the feud that most intrigues me out of these three would be Punk versus Roman Reigns continued after WrestleMania, and then having Paul Heyman walk away with Seth Rollins, I think would kind of remove kind of like the most juicy, delicious fruit that feud would have, which is Paul Heyman. So I don't want to see Paul Heyman be removed from the equation by joining Seth Rollins. I at least don't think it's the correct call. I do like the addition of Paul Heyman because there were a lot of people
Back for 30 minutes.
SmackDown saying it's kind of was like a weird dynamic of a triple threat because there's beef between Seth and Roman, there's beef between Seth and Punk, but there's nothing bad between Roman and Punk. But we got it. Now we've got a proper trifecta. Which is why it's favorite in my opinion, why that Paul Heyman is in the equation. But I also think that this was a necessary promo as well to help create the role, the will be, won't be, who will decide what, who will be betrayed, will decide with Roman, will decide with Punk. I like that they added this promo because it added the conversation.
Yeah, they needed that. I think they needed that. That was kind of what we saw in a couple of segments tonight where there was some personality traits, some segments that were needed. This whole idea last week. And boy, do I have egg on my face because they did not have it. I was so sure that Bailey was going to defeat Lyra. I was wishfully hoping that we would see Roxanne Perez confront Bailey immediately afterwards. None of those things happened. Not one. But we did get a hard fought match here. Both of these.
One that loves Bailey already happened on Raw. And it before this Intercontinental Championship match even happened, that was to be stupid. That to me was stupid, and I literally turned an eye at that. Like, why are you doing that? I'm just glad that this match was as good as I thought it was going to be. Work as opposed to like taking her out and
Yeah, I don't know about you in terms of how long it takes you to like a wrestler, right? Here's the thing. Looking at the gauntlet, the obvious choice to win this is Bailey and Lyra, right? Or do you see it being any other team?
any other team would feel so underwhelming. But okay, any other team feels underwhelming. Lyra and Bailey still doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. It feels like they are rushing a women's tag team match for the sake of putting the women's tag team title on the card. Hell, I don't even think it's for the sake of putting the women's tag title on the card. I feel like they owe Liv Morgan one, and they want to make sure they get Liv Morgan on the card with how good she has been as a performer over the past 12 months, and they're finding that this is kind of the only way that we can get her on the card. But I'm not excited at all about the prospect of it being Lyra and Bailey.
Right, like there are so many different matches you
Back
I
for one
decided to
engagement.
start IT champion. It's a lot happening in that story, but hey, that's not take away from this incredible match though that they did because I was bummed out with the match ended. I was like, no. Yeah, that Roman will be apparently on Raw next week. So that's something to look forward to. Thank you so much, CJ. We got Bob Ross Jr. who says, hello, Season Santi. I got a partner today because I got we got Gio here who says that replay. Also, good to see Matt. Sunday, I was so pissed. I lost. Matt, they got me there. They successfully made me happen, and there. They just didn't say it. You guys need
Like Carlito.
I've never seen a spear like that before. He run, but I
Yeah.
look
Way from Carlito and still make
a lot of wrestlers that we did see. Adam Pearce made the announcement that we're going to see Finn Balor, Braun Breaker, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship in a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. Santi, what was your reaction to that? And do you think Braun is dropping the title to Penta or to Dominic since those seem like the top two favorites?
oh, you already know my answer.
I know your answer.
It's Dominic Mysterio. They've already been setting it up. If you've been buying Dominic Mysterio stocks like a good boy, you're about to become a rich man. What is going on at WrestleMania? Dominic Mysterio is going to win. Not only that, they're setting it up for him to be Finn Balor. Finn Balor. What enough? He's not brave enough. He littles Dominic Mysterio constantly. And it's going to be the big pop. Because by the way, he was over with that crowd. So let's go Dominic. He's going to win at WrestleMania and bring it home, folks. He is bringing it home. You know I sold you on it. You know I sold you on it.
The story is there. I cannot lie. The story is there. But here's the thing, though. How can I get behind Dominic winning the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania when I just saw him lose today at Penta?
It's all of this misdirection. All of misdirection.
Wait, moving him back to misdirection? He lost cleanly, too.
Misdirection. They're trying to get you to look here and what? Oh, Dominic's gonna walk over. Watch.
Okay, what if Dominic still screws Finn Balor but doesn't actually win?
You can have all your feelings if you want. I have faith on my side. At this point, my faith cannot be deterred.
Some people about to bring out the level that with Dominic's face on it.
I'm about to go on a full pilgrimage to see the biggest of Guadalupe and leave a couple.
You're touching that title at me. Let's go talk. Get out of here. Wow. Thank you so much for the super chat. We got Super Jimmy here who says early heard the bonus tonight. Yo, I think he's done, bro. Rip. So stagnant for tonight because earlier I had said we kind of saw people show different signs of them, right? But specifically here, it's been a while since we've seen him get here, and he basically tells Luther, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you." And the moment of this right now, the promo of what Jay is trying to say.
I have to bring laughter quick. My brother in the hospital. I understand that they are hurting this promo and not helping. It was a shame because I think it's like an amazing promo, but on it. This is the exact type of subject matter that I wanted out of it. It's the exact type of finisher. It was a shame that the crowd was not able to play along to help it that way.
This is
And then versus the comedy of the contrast of the serious promo versus the good talk. Tell us that Luther's a little worried, right? That's the point of it. No more doubt in me. There are no fears at all because
I think it's kind of criminal that Jackie was missing out on another WrestleMania back-to-back years where the crowd is like fully behind Jackie. They want to see Jackie. People wanted Jackie to lose the last
what? I did not feel bad for Chad Gable. Stop taking so many days off for me.
In hiding from the lifeblood of this for the sake of it. This should have been announced weeks ago. But about time.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it too. I will tell you this much though. I feel like coming out of this segment, I'm starting to think that Io Sky is redeemed at WrestleMania. Just the way that they have disrespected her.
Okay.
Alrighty, well there you guys have it. That's the
Happening as it would be my first that I could possibly. I'm sure he had a good time, and I'm sure his son had a good time. Show was good. Substance of the show was good. The wrestling on the show was good. The crowd was like us. Certainly was not the Chicago crowd that we got last week. But don't set plug your headset. Sit down and shoot the shit with him. Burn the fucking house down.
Alright, I'm gonna end the video. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for watching.
Off with Io,
I'll see y'all later.
off with Io, Rhea, and Bianca.